So many series and all these theories, I'm losing my mind. I've lost track of time. How can I watch them all? Oh! 2, 3, 4.
Hey everybody, and welcome to RANDIME. It's a random anime show where the hosts watch random episodes of anime from a random show, and then we give a review about it and talk about it and discuss how we thought about the episode. I'm your host, EJ, and today we have a guest. This is our producer, Joey.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Chris is on vacation today. So in his stead, and him not being here, I just to celebrate. I decided to dress a little down today and put on my vacation clothes so I can pretend that I'm on vacation with Chris too. He didn't tell us where he was going, and we couldn't sync up plans at all. So I'm here this week, and he's not. But let's get into some anime. For this episode, we watched the show Plastic Memories, episode 3. We've just started living together. So Joey, what did you think of this episode?
This was something, EJ. You picked an interesting episode.
I didn't pick it. This was random.
I didn't like it, but I was definitely I couldn't look away. I'll put it that way. It was.
All right, that's a little bit dreary. I like this episode. I thought it was really funny. I thought it had a lot of funny bits. The characters were all pretty exciting to listen to. I really liked.
Wait, you're not kidding? Like, you thought this was, genuinely funny?
Yeah, that was a funny show. To summarize, yes, I did like the show. I thought it was funny. I thought there were some good bits. Joey, next question, as noted by the number 2 on the cards you gave me, is how lost do you feel?
I'm definitely not lost about what happened in the episode. I mean, it's pretty straightforward what kind of episode this is.
Sure.
That's
not really what the question's about.
I'm not finished yet. The basic premise of this episode is that it takes place in a college type place, right? Because there's dorms or some kind of school.
It seems like it might be some sort of business.
Some kind of thing.
These teenage student aged individuals.
Yes, and these two characters are told by the
Tsukasa and Isla.
The people that they're gonna room together.
Mm-hmm.
So the main character, I guess, Tsukasa, is just your hapless dude character, and then Isla is this weird chick. It's very much like a Rei Ayanami type character, from Evangelion. That character.
Okay, yeah.
It's very much that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right, so she's a weirdo and doesn't talk. So Tsukasa, now that they're living together, is going out of his way to try to reach out to her. And, have some sort of relationship. So that's what happens in the episode. That's super simple. What I want to know is, what is this show actually about?
That's a good question. So that's, I guess, what will lead into me is I'm, like you said, I get the episode. I think it's funny. I enjoyed it. What's going on in the rest of the series? Can I predict what's going to happen next? Can I give you a plot synopsis? I don't know, guys. I don't know.
All right, so there's one line early on.
Sure.
Where they say something like, "Oh, it's normal for all of the marksmen and spotters to live together."
Yeah.
Right? And as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, this show is very different from what I thought it was. What do you think the spotter marksman thing is?
I mean, obviously, first guess is they're elite snipers was my first guess.
Well,
but then I
obviously,
saw the tie that Tsukasa was wearing. That can't be the case.
That guy's not a sniper.
It's a bad tie. It's not the tie a sniper would wear, I don't think.
No, definitely not.
It was very shaped and misshapen. It had that flat bottom. It's not a good look.
Oh, it did? I didn't even pick that up.
As for me, I have some guesses what the marksman spotter relationship could be. It seems like maybe it could be involving some sort of fighting or something. I assume there's probably some sort of battle system that goes on in this show that we just haven't been privy to.
I want to agree with you, but then there's usually when there's a show is an action show, and I don't have the breadth of experience with shitty anime that you do. So
I don't know if that's
I
not an
don't know
appropriate thing to
exactly
say.
like the 100% exactly like the tropes, but the intro song did not strike me as an action show kind of song. You know what I mean? Like it struck me as like a drama type thing, you know?
I guess so. I feel like the marksman spotters line.
But that's
Can't imagine that's a throwaway line.
That's
I
messing
don't
with
know.
me, man. Like what does that mean?
I mean, they're definitely not buying and selling stocks. I can tell you that.
Like we didn't see shit about like a bad guy. We didn't see shit about the world being in turmoil that would necessitate like snipers.
There wasn't a lot of time. You're dealing with the turmoil of moving in with a new person and what can come with living with a roommate.
We all know that what that's like.
And it's challenging living with a new roommate and getting used to things. And sometimes you're in a new space where you don't feel at home yet, so you have to try to get a little cozy in that new environment. But enough of that for now. We'll go into another question that's usually a staple of ours. What did you think of the opening song?
Every episode we say the same shit, that it was all right or it was okay.
Do you have an opinion or not?
I will say, there was a line in the opening song about a Ferris wheel. Like they used a Ferris wheel as a metaphor for something, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? But then there's actually a Ferris wheel in the episode.
Yeah, and I think that was
and I was like,
very
oh
important
wow,
spot.
there's actually like a thing that has to do with like an amusement park. Okay.
As for me, I like the opening. I thought it was pretty good. This one felt like we had a lot of characters coming in and out, and a lot of good goofs and gags to experience with all of them. So I was very thankful for that.
A lot of goofs and gags.
Yeah, it was a lot of funnies this episode. Go dive into the next question. Who's your favorite character in this episode, do you think, Joe?
My favorite character. Ooh. I like that all of the shade faces that orange-haired girl makes. Michiru. That's her name. Okay. Like she like barges in to their room like a million times and just makes like a really disapproving face at Tsukasa.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, sure. So she's my favorite character.
Okay. It's actually a funny coincidence because Michiru was actually my favorite character as well. I thought she was really funny. I loved all the bits with her coming in, barging into the room. A little bit of a tsundere character. She might feel a little something for Tsukasa, but doesn't want him to know. But she, kind of wants that attention a little bit. But she's doing a lot of funny things, coming in, barging in, always at the right time to catch Tsukasa doing something goofy. Whether it's trying to impress Isla with his weightlifting skills or him trying to cook a nice, tasty steak dinner for Isla, or All right. At least favorite character, Joe. Who was got under your skin? Who was bothering you this week? Who was not painting a good picture for the narrative?
Tsukasa, obviously.
Tsukasa.
He sucked. Tsukasa is like your classic hapless dumbass main character who is taking advice from all the worst people and just fucking everything up and just being a dumbass. Like I got no respect for Tsukasa, and I don't know what he wants. I don't know what his ultimate end goal is. It's like I'm not feeling that guy.
I think it's a little too early to tell. I think Tsukasa is a pretty good character. I think he he's in a world where he doesn't really know what's going on. I think this might be he might be new to this whole system, being involved in this marksman spotter relationship. He's obviously never had a girlfriend before, so maybe he's a little shy around girls and doesn't know how he's supposed to act. Maybe he's just trying to become good friends with Isla. Maybe he's looking for something more, but we really just can't tell. I personally think he's looking just for a tighter friendship and bond with a coworker, but to try to be more friendly with them. So I think you're being a little too hard on him. I think he was just trying to get advice from some of the other people around him to see how he should act, because he doesn't really know. As for me, my least favorite character is going to be Professor Yasutaka.
Which character is Professor Yasutaka? Is he the one with the red shirt?
He was the stud kind of teacher who gave...
Oh, the super creepy guy
who gave
like
Tsukasa
whispered in his ear.
Some bad advice on...
Is it some bad advice?
On how to win over Isla. He... oh, gosh.
First of all, he does the classic, get real close to the guy and just sort of breathe in his ear.
I don't know. I mean, I think he was just trying to show how the technique was done. He basically tries to tell Tsukasa to assert his dominance onto Isla in a very inappropriate manner. He said,
He literally said, force yourself on her.
force yourself on her and make it look like an accident, which was horrible advice. We cannot state this enough, that this is terrible advice. You should never do this to any woman or man or anybody. For that matters, you should always be respectful and open with your feelings and not physically forceful to get your way, because that is not how things are achieved in this world.
He even implied like, no, but this is what she really wants.
Yeah,
It's like,
there's that whole narrative of she wanted it, she was begging for it, but that's just guys trying to act tough and cool, and they're wrong. And I want you guys to know that they're wrong. And we here on Random A do not condone Professor Yasutaka's methods, his teachings, or anything he probably stands for. I think we should just go through a lot of the ideas that went in this episode. So Tsukasa's moving in with Isla, and he's trying to impress her or win her over, or just lighten the mood a little bit.
Again, what he wants is a little ambiguous.
So Iru, one of the girls in the company, the group band they got
college
going on, the
dorm, whatever it is,
has this bright idea. If you want to elaborate on what her idea was for what he should do to break the ice with Isla.
She tells Tsukasa to barge in on her while she's showering and make it look like a mistake so that he can see her naked, but that she'll like freak out but also be intrigued.
Once again, this is something that we will not condone. Do not do this. This is a bad idea. This is how you get arrested for sexual assault. Do never ever barge in on somebody taking a shower. And next up was, I guess, seemingly like their physical education manager or teacher or something.
The red shirt guy?
I guess so. I don't know.
Well, what did he say? I'll remember it when you tell me what he said.
One of the guy's actions was, he said, you should bulk up.
Oh,
you should get strong.
He's like, she'll talk to you if you get super muscular.
Which I
and
thought
then he says that while doing this to him. It's like really fucking creepy.
Get out of here. I thought that was pretty funny, and then leads to Tsukasa, trying to do some pull-ups and lifting some weights, and then he throws the weights into the
he
wall,
like puts a giant dent in his wall.
And then Michiru kind of barges in and sees that he's throwing weights around all willy-nilly.
It's pretty fucked up.
Then the next guy comes in and says, like, hey, you gotta, the widow woman's heart is through her stomach, and you got to make some tasty food for her. So, one of them had him try to make some food, and he makes a big mistake, and he causes a fire, which sets off, like the sprinklers, which splash him, get them all wet.
Yeah, the sprinklers are weird. It's like a giant like hose in the corner of
that might have
ceiling
been a
that just sort of like
pipe. I couldn't tell.
It was weird.
Another one told him you got to be a gentleman and get her some flowers, which obviously did not work out as well.
Yeah, what went wrong with the flowers? I don't remember. Did she just not accept the flowers?
She doesn't accept gifts was a lot of the big
things.
And there was a bee. There was a bee in the flowers.
Oh, there was a bee in the flowers,
And he starts trying to kill the bee, and it's a big thing, and then the bee gets killed on his forehead. Michiru thankfully comes in and stops that nonsense with the bee.
Well, she punches him in the face.
But she probably got the bee.
She probably did get the bee. This is some wacky hijinks, man. Like,
it was. All of it was good comedic laughs and comedic timing, except for that one, from Yasutaka is you don't condone that. It's not a good move. So, Joey, how did you think about the ending song? You know,
no.
I liked the ending. I think it showed a nice brighter side to Isla. Maybe show her maybe there's some happiness for her to come along. It was a nice poppy tune to kind of get you, a nice way to close off the night. A nice little happy ditty to. All right, so now that we watched the episode, major spoilers coming up. We looked up what the show's actually about. So
let's see how close we were.
Not very. Plastic Memories takes place in the future. I think we all got that.
Yeah, we could tell it was the future.
Where humans live alongside androids called Giftias, which I remember hearing that phrase at least once or twice. One of the catches of the Giftias, the robots, is they only survive for 81,920 hours, or roughly 9 years and 4 months. The premise of the show is that there's a terminal services group that works inside SAI, which is who this show is about, where they retrieve the Giftias, who are close to the end of their lifespans, from their owners, and they start erasing the Giftias' memories. To perform this job, the terminal service employees work in teams consisting of a human, a spotter, and a Giftia called a marksman.
But there's no shooting involved.
There's no shooting involved. So it sounds like the main part of the show is that these androids live with the humans for a little while before they get decommissioned, which is kind of pretty sad to think about, actually.
So this is like a nursing home for androids.
It certainly seems so, which is not really how I imagined the show to be.
I mean, in hindsight, I think that makes a ton of sense based on just what the opening song implies, where it's like not really an action show, it's like a drama type situation.
This will be a romantic comedy, more than likely. I think there's a budding romance headed our way, headed Tsukasa and Isla's way.
Surely to end in tragedy.
Maybe not.
Maybe she'll get an extended lifespan.
That's what I would hope for. But
I
maybe
hope she
it
fucking dies. Well, I think it would be like a more dramatic story, if not everything goes
Chris
the right way.
Said that. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this week. Really missing Chris. Hopefully, he can make it back. Next week, I don't know if I'll be able to do the show without him again. This didn't really work out for me personally. But
sorry.
You just don't add the right blend of spices to this cooking show here that we're doing. This has been EJ and Joey signing off. Have a good week, everybody.
You look fucking stupid in that shirt.
It's very inappropriate of you to say that. Chris wouldn't have said that either. Chris knows what this show's about. He understands. He understands the show, and whether or not you do, this is the show that we're doing. This is the show that you let me do. So this is the show, okay? I understand. No, please don't laugh. This is a very serious thing for me. I take this very seriously. I don't fucking come and show up here fucking and work my fucking ass off to make this fucking show, okay? This is a fucking takes time and energy out of my life to come in here and do this. So I want you to take this seriously as I take this seriously, because this means a fucking lot to me. Not every one of my weeks is fucking golden dandy, and I have some hard days too, like some of the fucking characters in these goddamn shows we're watching. So I want you to know that when I come on this set and I'm not putting on a facade. That's who I am, and that's who I want to be. This is not me right now. This is a little bit of pent up frustration and anger at coming on in here and working my butt off, and you come in here and you trashing these shows that we're watching. This show has heart. It has characters that care about each other, and I think that there's something that you could learn from maybe some of these people, except for Professor Yasutaka, because that man is someone that we do not condone the actions of. But there are people in that show that have heart, and they mean well for Tsukasa and Isla, and that's what this show's all about. So to tune in next week, guys. This has been Random A. We'll get Chris back for the next one. You better believe it. Thank you, guys.
From here to the darkest reaches of space,